with Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask, yeah, crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through MetaTope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Help me ETH phone. Full body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the MetaTope golden era. The whitelist still open, hurry up what you need, golden chariot. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah. And use it inside your live stream. And all your metaverses, favorite games in widescreen. MetaTope, visualize your digital eyes.
Thanks everybody for joining. Come on in, make yourselves comfortable. I'm going to let everybody fill in, listen to a little tunes for a few, and we'll get started.
We gotta rock the party till the last shot. Fill that jug and raise your cup up. We gotta chug, better take it and stop. Hey, come drink it till the last drop. So please just let us burn down this place, and we will end up in the arm of the bay. Let's get ready for a drinking game. So come and sip it through the last drop. Over and over we down the river, we drunk and all of our thumbs on up in the air. Sunken in the wind, listen to the thunder rolling. Over and over we down the river, we drunk and all of our thumbs on up in the air. Sunken in the wind, listen to the thunder rolling. Over and over we down the river, we drunk and all of our thumbs on up in the air. Sunken in the wind, listen to the thunder rolling. Over and over we down the river, we drunk and all of our thumbs on up in the air. Sunken in the wind, listen to the thunder rolling.
Dusk to dusk and dawn to dawn, my world was yours and we belonged. I'd left it all, I'd walked away. Now it calls me back again. I'll be gone in September, September. I'll be gone in September, September. My back turned, it all burned.
While we're all getting seated, let's tweet this space out, get some more people in here. Going to have a great discussion today. Lots of great guests.
I left my castle in the rain. I hoped it last, I hoped in vain. I wouldn't give a moment back. The road it calls, I have to pass. I'll be gone in September, September. I'll be gone in September, September. Dusk to dusk, dawn to dawn. The world was yours and we belong.
Funk, yeah, yeah. I mix my ETH with Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask, yeah, crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase one, evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase one, evolution, revolution. Help me ET phone. Whole body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the Metatope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up, what you need, golden chariot. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah, and use it inside your live stream. And all your metaverses, favorite games in widescreen. Metatope, visualize your digital ID. I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Yeah, Metatope is your mirror to the metaverse. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Metatope.com.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of TopeTalk. We appreciate you all being here. Appreciate everybody come spend an hour with us this afternoon, this evening, wherever you're at in the world. Give you a little rundown on how things are going to go today. Have a little bit of some introductions here. We'll let you know who's going to be talking, let you know a little bit about us and where we're from. My name is Crypto Medic. My real name in life is John. I am fully doxxed, part of a fully doxxed project, and happy to be here to speak with you guys today. After the introductions, we'll go into a little topic discussion about our topic today, launching Web2 businesses into Web3. And we're going to let Little Mutant NFT come up and some of our other panel. And we invite you to come up and give your opinions and thoughts on that topic and what we're talking about as well. After that, we'll go over a little bit of project info from our guests, Little Mutant NFT, let you guys know all about their project. Give you a little bit of info on our project, give you some updates on where we're at, some updates from a couple of our partners, and then we'll do some giveaways. And our good friend Enzo here is going to be pinning up the giveaways, checking in Discord, checking Twitter, make sure everybody's jumping in and getting a chance to win some pre-sale slots and some cash today. So happy for everybody to be here. With that being said, I want to bring up Little Mutant NFT. Come on up, introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit about you. What brought you into Web3, where you're from, whatever else you feel like telling us about.
Hey guys, this is Frank K. Thank you for having us.
What up, Frank?
What's going on?
Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like what brought you to Web3? What's your claim to fame?
So I got into Web3 right a month after Bored Ape Yacht Club minted. Bored Ape Yacht Club was actually my first NFT. I'm an OG holder since July 2021. I was introduced into the space by an employee of mine. He actually, he's a lot younger than me, and he got me, he kept pitching out, young kid, a lot of energy, very enthusiastic. He pitched, he used to pitch out like so many different types of things to me. Pokemon cards. I bought so many Pokemon cards, and then like he got me into sneakers and this and that. And time comes, he starts pitching out Bored Ape Yacht Club and NFTs in general, and what minting is, and this and that. So at this point, I was like, Tyler, like, leave me the fuck alone. I don't know what to do with all the Pokemon cards that I got in my house already. But he kept pressing me. So fast forward about a couple of weeks later, I had a meet up with a friend of mine. He's a financial analyst on CNBC, Fast Money, and I met up with his name's Tim Seymour. I met up with him I was looking to raise some cash for some IRL, some capital, and he said, "Well, I can't really help you right now, but I have someone that's like super liquid." And I'm like, "How liquid?" "Oh, he made $600 million in NFTs." I'm like, "NFTs? That's the shit that Tyler keeps talking to me about." So the next day, I call up my employee Tyler. "Hey, how you doing? Come over here. Let's have a chat." And that's where it really all began for me. I jumped into Bored Ape, and it became like an obsession. I really started doing my homework. I started, understanding I started kind of figuring out the value of blockchain, and here we are. I'm almost 2 years into this. I'm the founder of Little Mutants, project that's pre-mint. I'm also one of the founders of Ape Tank, something that's been going on for 3 months now, very successful. I'm a true believer in the space. I think that I envision the space moving forward predominantly if it's attached to Web2 businesses. I think Web2 businesses and IRL endeavors give our Web3 space or NFT validity or credibility. Um, so yeah, so here I am speaking to
I
you
love
fine
it.
people now, and that's
You're very
that's where
much,
it's at.
I think a lot of us, right? I love your story because you stumbled backwards into like the biggest project and it was your first shot. Like, I think that's a great story. I think it's probably repeated itself out there a few times. Um, I think that people like yourself who managed to stumble into it and find, traction and worth in what you were doing are really the people who are driving the space now. I mean, I just think it's great. Um, Tell me a little bit. I want to bring up a couple of people on the panel and introduce them. Of course, myself, I am the operations manager for Metatope. I kind of try to keep the monkeys in the barrel, I guess you could call it, is my job. We also have Crypto Chris up here. He's our partnerships director, and we're happy to have him around. Enzo is one of our mods. Cool Music Guy is our admin for Discord, one of our mods. So a bunch of the team here. I'm looking through to see if we have anybody else from the team here today, because they're all busy, heads down working. I will tell you that, which is what everybody needs to be doing in this kind of market.
So while you're going over that, I just want to remind everyone that we have a giveaway pinned up to the top. So if you go to the first pinned up tweet up top, you guys have a chance to win $100 in ETH. So yeah, don't skip out on that while we listen to all the introductions from Crypto Medic.
Thanks, Enzo. Yeah, make sure you guys get signed up for that stuff. With that being said, let's talk a little bit about our topic. Let's open that up. And so, tell me, I mean, you talked about you were working on stuff. I heard IRL in there, right? So talk to me about how you're bringing IRL and Web2 into Web3.
That's a really good question. I just want to touch a little bit on how I came to decide to start my own project with Little Mutants. And, as I said, I started off in Bored Ape Yacht Club, got into a couple of blue chips. The world was beautiful. Everything was great, very profitable. I stumbled into something, like, as you said, I gained a lot of traction. Um, things were going nice and smooth. I really didn't have any intentions of starting my own project. I was kind of more focused into investing into other projects, and there's so many going on at the time. But a situation landed on my lap where a friend of a friend uh, was in a little bit of trouble. His cousin in Colombia, uh, family generational coffee farmers, and the single mother managing this whole operation down there. She got a little bit older. She couldn't handle it. Some political situations in Colombia where the coffee industry wasn't centralized anymore. I think what was happening prior down there was, I believe the government was kind of just centralizing all the coffee, purchasing it from each individual farmer and kind of distributing it on its own. So I think there was some kind of entity down there that was kind of being the middleman, so to speak. And that ended. That ended. So now all these small coffee farms kind of had to fend for themselves and go out and look for distribution. And you know, it kind of backfired. A lot of these smaller coffee farmers, uh, you know, kind of just was geared up more just to do the work and produce and not, into sales or anything to that extent. So this is a struggling coffee farm, um, mostly employing single mothers, um, really poverty level situation. And a buddy of mine, so the children end up taking over this farm. They came from different industries themselves, and Frank, let's have a coffee, and explained the situation to me. And I'm like, what the hell do I know about coffee? And they're like, well, I'm kind of tight knit networked here in New York, and they were looking for distribution. So I said, look, let me think about this. Okay, fast forward a month, 2 months later, I came up with this idea, start a project, and have this coffee farm as a utility. I was always, I just seen along the way all these projects popping up with promises and roadmap, and basically like, hey, invest in us, mint with us, and this is what we intend to kind of do with your money. And I think that was kind of like the downfall of, or kind of brought us, or added to the bear market in our space. So I decided, with my team, let's build this first. Let's invest first. Let's start up the Web2 first, and let's bring everybody on the back end on Web3 after. We're 9 months into this. We're a vertically integrated coffee subscription company, vertically integrated all the way back to the farm. We're investing in the farm. Uh, as of yesterday, our e-commerce site went up, and orders are coming in. Things are looking great. The link from farm to the homeowner is there. I'm really excited about the way things are going. So yeah, now we need to focus on the Web3. We need to focus on our mint. We need to focus on onboarding everyone. We don't need a roadmap. Everything's already built. Everything's already done. Everything's already here. Um, and here we are.
I love it. Very similar to our mindset, right? Build first, give value before you try to sell something to somebody. I love what you've done. We're talking about Web 2 to Web 3. You've gone all the way back to the farm. That's like pre-web to Web 3. So I love that. And I think the more that we can bring everything direct to consumer, right? Whether that's coffee, but certainly other perishables and consumables, but even products as well. As we start to cut out these middlemen more and more, it's going to open up the world economy, something like we've never seen. I think that's the true power of Web.
Well, yeah,
Tell me how. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's what this is really all about. Like, yes, on the front end, the consumer is going to get something of premium quality uh, at the best price, because everything's vertically integrated. We're tied into Web3, but a lot of people don't realize the value of blockchain and Web3. Look what we're doing here, and I'm hearing it more and more lately. It's we're kind of creating a worldwide economy. We're Web3 now, because of Little Mutants, is able to touch someone's life in like a rural area where some people don't even have power, and we're changing these people's lives. We're because we created a distribution channel via Web3, via NFTs, via the blockchain. We're changing these people's lives, and everyone in the whole the whole chain of this process is benefiting. I'm benefiting as a founder. My holders are going to benefit. The consumer is going to benefit. The coffee pickers that have always been neglected, are going to benefit.
Sustainability.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's the sustainability, and it's a feel good story. I'm really, I know I'm really passionate about. I was always passionate about this, but I was recently down there in Colombia a couple of weeks ago, and I got to meet these people, their families, and it just kind of really moved me, because it's really a different type of poverty. Yes, there's poverty. People talk about it all the time in the United States and the developed worlds, and but unless there's still, this is America. There's still opportunity here for the most, for if anyone wanted a job
There's
or.
also there's also a lot of nets in the U.S. that are not in other parts of the world. I think a lot of people see unless they go there. There's a lot of, not that everyone can't fall through them, but there are a lot of things to help you even when you fall to the bottom ladder in the U.S. You're pretty much
There's
fending for yourself out in the bush in a lot of these countries.
Yeah, and I mean, really good people that just don't have a choice, don't have to, there's just no options. There's just no options. It could be the smartest guy in the world, the smartest girl in the world, the most honest, good, and really like happy, content, appreciative. They were so happy for me and my team to be there. Um, I was really moved. I can't wait to go back. I'm really proud of what me and my team have built here, and what we're contributing. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And, I would hope we could be an example for many. And, I think I think this is the future, and I think you know, I think all in all, we're gonna all be all right.
Hey, showing
So,
people
can I
that this
ask you
can
a
be
quick
done.
question,
Yeah,
Frank?
go ahead.
Sure.
So, have you ran into any challenges um, with the SEC bringing a Web2 business into Web3 that will give back rewards to holders? Have you had anything come up with that, or how are you? If you have, is there a specific way that you're dealing with it?
So we have, as you know, we're a pre-mint project, so we haven't minted yet. So no, there hasn't been any distribution as of yet to any holders, because there are no holders. But we are, I do have a Web3 attorney that's working on this right now, and we're also speaking to another group of people that are gonna possibly help us fractionalize this. So there's a couple of ways to work around that, whether it be um, uh, implementing a smart token, or um, maybe just distribution to the treasury. So that's something that we're working on right now. It's so to answer your question, we have not had any issues with SEC because we're not there yet, but it's something that we're working on, and I know a couple of people are, and I believe there's a couple of projects out there that have already figured this out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that going on now. A lot of attorneys are looking at this. I mean, we're waiting in the U.S. for some of what the SEC is going to do or not do, or the government's going to do to regulate or not regulate. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of this is wait and see game. It's play by the rules that are there now and be ready for the next set of rules. It's good to
Right,
hear. Obviously, you have people looking, like
right.
we do.
Yeah, and we're waiting as everyone else is waiting, but in the interim while we're waiting, we're our holders are going to get value for holding that NFT, whether it be you know discounts on the coffee that they're going to be receiving, or flavors of coffee that are only available to holders. So there's always along the way going to be those benefits. So it's just going to compile, and we're just going to keep adding on to this as we go along.
What's been your biggest challenge
another
so far?
question. Okay.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, I was to say what's been your biggest challenge so far?
My biggest challenge so far, my biggest challenge is been myself. I'm very I'm a businessman in New York City. I push myself hard. I set really high expectations for myself. I expect more to happen quicker, and I think that's my internal biggest challenge. I'm a workaholic. Um,
You're an overachiever. Don't apologize for it. All right, there's a lot of us in this room.
Yeah, so that's my biggest challenge, my frustration when things aren't moving quick enough. Um, you know, Trying to manage people but not push too hard. As far as as far as the Web2, um, I've owned multiple businesses in New York City. It's my thing. It's who I am. It's what I'm built for. I'm experienced. I know how to handle that. I love it. I love a challenge. Um, so yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I just can't, there really hasn't been. I can't really sit here and say, you know, man, this is giving me a hard time. Like everything is real. I have a really good team around me. Everyone on my team are people are all around the world that I've met in the space, and they just make things so much easy. They make things so easy, and it's when you have the right team around you, uh, anything is possible.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Let's get into the project. Tell me a little bit more. I mean, obviously we've been talking about the coffee and stuff, but tell me a little bit more about why Little Mutants and what are we doing?
So
Hold on, Frank.
yeah.
Enzo, did you have a question for him?
Yes, I can ask my question after he's done, because he might answer my question right here where with the entire Little Mutants project. So I'll keep my question till the end after that.
Cool. Real quick then, my question would be, Frank, with the difference in Web2 versus Web3. I mean, you and me are both familiar with both sides, and with Web2, everything is considered more competition. I feel like, like a coffee shop, it's like, you're a family business or you're a local business, support the local. I think there's like a really cool side of Web3 that allows projects and upcoming businesses to collaborate and partner. And that's something we've never really seen before at a large scale like this, which I don't think was possible before Web3, or, essentially what Web3 is today, existed. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think one of the reasons for that is, I think a bear market's never good, but I think the bear market kind of brought everyone together to bond together and work together and figure it out together, because if if I can share my community, and you can share your community, and the other guy can share his community with one another, we can all network one another. We can build together, um, instead of fighting for each other's place in space. So yeah, I absolutely agree that I see that. I think it's definitely going in the right direction.
Yeah, and I feel like you're not limited. I mean, I've got a Starbucks down the street from me here in Tampa, and it's like I can walk there. But do I want to walk to Starbucks, or do I want to have some little Mutant's coffee delivered straight from Colombia? I mean, I think we all can agree with which one's going to taste better. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
I'm not a Starbucks fan, so I'm excited for what you guys are doing.
yeah,
I'm a
absolutely.
coffee snob all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And Starbucks is great and all, but Starbucks, it's just a lot. Being in Web3, it's a lot easier to scale a business. And like you said, the community is here to support you. It's not more of a competition. It's more like Little Mutants is the guy. They're here. They're one of us. They're in the space. They're Web3. We got to support them, and vice versa. And it's just a lot easier to scale. I mean, we went live with our e-commerce site yesterday, and we're starting to get like orders like before even marketing or anything, because the community, and this is one of the biggest positives of Web3.
For sure.
Absolutely.
It's kind of funny. I actually, from a couple of the shows, I met them in Decentral, and then I saw them in New York City. But there's an NFT company called Conscious Cups of Coffee, and I've got this sticker on the back of my phone, and I'm gonna need a little Mutant sticker right next to them, because I've had their they do not only coffee, but they've been doing teas and stuff, and matcha. I had no idea what the hell matcha was until I was at a NFT conference. Like, why do I need to go to an NFT conference to try some of the coolest stuff out there? And I guess the answer is because companies like this never did exist before, and it's really cool to see what you guys are doing. I think coffee fits right in with Degens.
Yeah, and just to add to that, like, coffee aside, whether it be an artist, whether it be um, and anyone else looking to get into the space with their IRL, but till today, you had to have funding, you know, backing, exposure, you know, and now anyone just can, make a name for himself in Web3, and a little bit of luck, a little bit of work, they can get their selves out there, and really go to distance. I could talk about Web3 all day, like blockchain. I think blockchain
Yeah, it really is like the Wild West, right? I mean, it's like many of the, I guess, time periods that we've seen in industry, right? Where you've really seen a revolution of some type of industry, a creation of jobs, a creation of industry, right? Like when the internet was invented or trains were invented, right? I mean, it really is that kind of revolution, I feel, in the way that
Yeah,
this will integrate in the world.
yeah, absolutely. And being as one of the founders of Ape Tank, we're we interview probably 2 projects a day minimum, and you know it's like mind blowing, the stuff that people are working on right now, and it's just like, oh my god, why didn't I think of that? And it just kind of like opens up your mind, like, people are really creative, and where when you give them a tool, that they'll realize, or they'll figure out how to use that tool or that technology in so many ways that you can even imagine. And that's what's happening here, and that's why I so believe in blockchain.
And that's really what we've seen, a revolution in technology. We've really seen not just blockchain technology, many of the graphics technologies, audio technologies, a lot of these high-end things become basically free to anybody who has a device to run them, to be able to do whatever they want to do, create art, create content. This is really the revolution of creativity.
It is creativity, art, business, all in one jar.
and really world community in a way we haven't, I don't think, seen, right? No matter who has tried to create a platform to bring communities together around an idea or around similar beliefs, no one's really been able to do it on any one platform like crypto itself or Web3 has, regardless of what platform that project chooses to bring its community in, whether it's Twitter or Discord or some of these other platforms. The real thing that's building it is Web3 and crypto.
Yeah, because Web3 and crypto doesn't just give the news, like it lets you interact with it. It lets you interact, monetarily. You can go in the metaverse and be there physically. It's like we're just scratching the surface right now. And, this is really bringing the world together, the world economy together, people together, ideas together. Um, yeah, I think, it's a good time to be alive and actually, witness this, the beginnings of something that's great.
It is. It's exciting. It's exciting for the individual for the first time in a long time.
Absolutely.
So tell me about the upcoming mint. You've mentioned Ape Tank. We're trying to work that out. We're going to come on Ape Tank. I love that show. But tell me about Little Mutant and how we can get one.
So Little Mutants is pre-mint where, as I've just mentioned, the last 9 months we have been simultaneously building the Web3 and Web2, but the Web2 has been a bigger build. We've really been focused on the Web2 end. Roxol is our artist out of Miami, the famous Roxol. They're famous for putting up all the Bored Ape Yacht Club murals down in Miami.
Shout out to Roxol.
Yeah, shout out to those guys and Project Roadmaps. So we're right about ready to go with the mint. We were originally looking to mint out 10,000 assets, but obviously for the obvious reasons, we cut that down. We're going to phase this out, 5,000 and 5,000, which 5,000 are coming up. We don't have a mint date yet. We're like I said, we've been focused on the Web2 and on the utility to this point, but right now, like all our focus is on Web3, and we're really making some traction. We're really starting to grow. We're trying to put this out there. It's a matter of really educating the consumer. We say in Web3, we really want to, we need people to understand like what we're doing here and why we're doing it and how this mergence works and the value of you holding one of our Little Mutants.
I love it. I saw our CEO Jordan Yallen is stuck in here and come to listen, and we're super happy to have him in here. I feel like I'm talking to him, right? Like many of the things you're saying is what our leadership is. So that gives me confidence not only in my leadership but in the space as well, right? That the projects that are making it, the projects that are doing it right, are seeing these very things, value before anything else, not promises.
Yeah, absolutely, but that's okay. America was started in the wild, wild west, and
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's going to be a lot that comes out of this, right? There's going to be a lot that comes out on the back end of this craziness that we've all kind of lived through, and we're starting to see that now, right? We're starting to see really, really good projects rise to the top.
Yeah, because the market demands it. Um, to this point, there's been a lot of, not maybe unintentional rug pulls, people just not really knowing what they're doing. They don't really get the vision, just putting out cool art, which is okay. But, we saw what happened with all that. Now people are looking for something of value. And, so the market's demanding real utility. And we're going to supply it, and that's what everyone's building right now. They're building something as Metatope and Little Mutants and many projects today are building something with real utility of whatever individual person is interested in at that moment in time.
Yeah, and that's really what are they interested in, and community, and how can they become a part of that community? not only support the community, but how does that community support them, right? That's really this back and forth that I think we're all happy to see. And this is something that companies really have never had, right? The company, I mean, I always like to use, now I love Apple, don't get me wrong. I love my iPhone, but I always use them as an example because they are the big, behemoth company. And I mean, even Steve Jobs said it, we're going to tell people what they like. And that's the way they've run their business ever since. And that's okay. It's worked for them and it's made them a, whatever $1 trillion company. But I think the times are changing. And I think it's much more about listening to our consumers and utilizing this massive brain trust that we have in a community to really start to push the edge of what companies can do and what they're about.
Yeah. And, it's about things like that we bring to the table, like, the DAO and being decentralized. I mean, I have to tell you again, like going back to Ape Tank, I've learned more these last 3-4 months in Ape Tank about the space than the last 2 years. I'm really happy to say that more and more we're getting contacted by more and more, like, not Fortune 500 companies, but really large corporations doing other things in Web 2 that that want to come into Web 3. They, they can't be wrong. These guys have big funding. They do their homework. They analyze everything with their team, and we're getting more and more calls about these larger corporations, like knocking. They're knocking on our door and saying, "Ape Tank, like, how can we get in? We need to get into Web 3. We see a value there." So it's
Absolutely.
really encouraging. It's really
It
encouraging.
is. It is. The brands are starting to come out of the woodwork, and more so, I want to say, than just, we've certainly seen some brands release some NFTs, pictures, oh, it's a digital shoe or something, but they're starting to come out now in a way really looking to integrate Web3 into their businesses more than just maybe sell something. And I think that's really where businesses like yours and ours, these are going to be the paramount players. Think about, well, how does a company sells shirts and shoes put those in a metaverse? They're going to need a body to wear them on, and that's what we're building, right? Give them a digital identity, like you're talking about, a community. But right now, we're all just a voice in a PFP. At least, I'm so proud to talk about Metatope a little bit, in that we want to take that PFP that, Frank has this wonderful PFP that's his Bored Ape that I'm sure he is super proud of, having been in that community and is recognized as it. I want to let him walk around as it. I want to let him shoot video as it. I want to let him go to a metaverse dance and dance a jig in the middle of the room as that ape. This is the kind of utility that I think, for us, that's utility. For you guys, reaching out, bringing people together, giving people jobs in another country. This is utility. I love it. I love where the space is going.
Yeah, absolutely. And the team and I are, like, super impressed with what you and your team have built, and the vision and the technology. What you guys are doing there. You guys are really taking this to another level. It's super impressive. And, like, we're really, me and the team and I are really excited to see where you guys take this, and we can't wait for it to all launch and come together. Like, it's a utility. There's a value to it. It's super dope, and it's, like, really fun, and I'm excited.
I'm just going to record that blip right there. I'm going to play it again and again. I appreciate that. I appreciate your kind words. It's hard to keep your eye on the ball, right? When the days are 18-hour days, and it just seems to go on and on into eternity. But I appreciate those, because it means we are making headway in the space.
Yeah, when you have vision and you have passion, and you have the right intentions, there's nothing you can't do. And everyone building in the space right now, the way we are, it's just everyone's making, this is history. This is just the beginnings of something great.
Absolutely. I mean, I love thinking about down the road when we're all going to be talking about, you remember the days. And we were there at the beginning. I mean, many of us in these spaces have been here for a while now and have been through the successes and the rugs and all of it. I mean, I can't wait to see what comes out of this really. And, let's look at 5 years, 10 years. My gosh, what's going to happen in 15 or 20 years with this technology? How different. It excites me. It excites everybody.
I don't think we're going to need to really wait 15 years. I think in the next 3-4 years, we're things are going to happen that are going to blow our minds. I think technology's really like changed the world. Things are just moving a lot quicker in so many aspects. The business cycle, even the car that we drive. It's just things are moving so quickly, and especially in Web3, we're in like warp speed right now, and I don't know what's going to happen in 15 years, but in the next 3 years, I think we're going to see a lot of like crazy stuff going on.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait. I think there's a lot coming next year. At least from the projects we've been talking to, some of the projects I know I've seen on your show and things, everybody's got their heads down building it. The launch is coming, right? I don't know when it is, but it's going to be a trickle at first, and then someone's going to turn on the faucet when everybody sees everybody launching.
Yeah, because that's what this bear market's done. Everyone's putting their heads down and just working. They're not selling. They're not talking about it. They're just working away and building, special things and just waiting for the market to turn. And then they launch.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see what comes next.
Yeah.
With that being said, I want to start to offer. Anybody want to come up? Have anything to say? Any questions? If you guys don't feel like talking, please drop them in the chat. Enzo's taking a look at the chat. If anybody would like to ask anything of myself, of Frank, please do. Love to talk about whatever. Yeah, go Enzo.
Just one quick question. How many flavors of coffee are you going to be distributing? And you said something about holders get you said special flavors or something like that. Did I hear that right?
Yes, you heard that right. The general public is only going to have one flavor of coffee. They're going to have a dark roast or a medium roast, whether it be grounded or in beans. But our holders are going to have up to 4 to 5 flavors. It's only available to our holders.
Oh man, now I got to buy one of these too. Okay, all right. I like that's a great hook. I love it. And yes, I want flavored coffee.
Look, you're in our project. You're a holder. You believe in us. You're here. You're part of the community. You're part of the family. You get rewarded for that.
I couldn't agree more. And that's the same things that we're building out right now with our own stuff. It's absolutely give as much value as we're all going to make money as a business. I think we all realize that there's enough to be done in the space, and business will always be business. But I love that we're all trying to do it different.
Yeah, absolutely. But like as I said, I've been in a couple of businesses in my life, and it's always been a grind. And so has this. It's been a little bit of a grind as well. But I enjoy this. It's just
I've never had more fun grinding at a job than I have at this.
Exactly. Like, yeah, I love the space. I love what we're building. It's just an enjoyment, and it gives you, when you enjoy something and you believe in something and you're doing good for so many people, it gives you a different type of motivation. It gives you a different type of push. And I'm very motivated.
Every day a different way, yeah.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I spent a life in medicine for 25 years, and getting out of that and into this space has been very much of a culture for me. And I feel I want to come to work. I love the people I work. I love the people I get to meet every day.
There's nothing wrong with change. Change is progress.
Enzo, what you got?
I completely agree with what you guys are saying, especially being able to not only be a part of Metatope, but to also work with other projects and the amount of networking that goes on is something I would have never actually seen if I had if I had never come into the space. Like I think I've talked to more people in the past year that I've been in the space than I have in like the other 27 years that I've been alive. I've never talked to just so many people all at once and trying to put together so many connections. So yeah, like this space grows so much faster than Web2 does. And yeah, there's amazing possibility to be had here, especially with all of us. Everybody in this space, like right now, is early to Web3 because the masses haven't fully adopted this yet. So everybody in this space right now is early, and it's amazing that we're all gonna be able to be part of seeing this grow and develop. I also want to remind people I'm going to be running a Twitter picker in the next like 2-3 minutes. So if you haven't signed up for the giveaway pinned up top, just want to remind people to do that before I pick the first and second winner.
Awesome, Enzo. Thank you. So we're going to do two $50 in ETH giveaway, and then we're going to do a pre-sale slot for us. And Frank, you got anything else? What do you got?
Yeah, I'd like to match whatever you guys are giving away.
Yeah, you want to do a pre-sale slot for you guys too?
Sure.
Cool. Right, you got that, Enzo? So we'll have 4. Start spinning, buddy. Cool. While he's doing that, you get so you're very much, I think, in kind of the same boat we are. You've said you don't have a mint date yet. You're kind of in pre-mint. That's what we're doing as well, trying to build that pre-mint list. Trying to make sure that we've got that support when we get really enough eyes on it, right? Before you really push this out to everybody.
Yeah, and when we were, I believe, on our preliminary call with Ape Tank, or you guys were speaking, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I'm so in the same boat with these guys.
Yeah.
Like you guys have been working so long on building this tech and utility, which is understandable. Nothing good doesn't come to without a lot of time and a lot of work. And now you're there, now we're there, and now we need to focus on our Web3 in this market, which I believe the market's going to turn around. I believe the market's going to turn around in a different way. It's not going to be a whole like the beginnings where there was just volume of everybody buying anything that just came to. But the market's going to turn around for businesses like us, where there's real validity and utility on board. And yeah, so I think we're at the right place at the right time. We're at the end of our builds, and we're at the start of building our communities and our Web3. And I think it's all going to work out.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like, I would rather be where we are now going into what's coming than necessarily having launched in the midst of everything that was going on and then the downturn of the market and the dealing with that. Like, this is actually, I think, a pretty good place for us all to be.
This is a perfect place for us to be for what we're doing. I mean, 80 or 90% of what was built a year ago, just is dissolving or falling apart. Only the strong are surviving, and a handful are surviving. The Bored Apes and the blue chips and these big names with big funding. But now, it's all about value and utility, and we're at the right place at the right time.
Absolutely. I'm gonna let Enzo start doing some of these handaways. But
let's go.
I would be remiss if I did not get your opinion on the blue check mark.
The Twitter check mark?
Oh yeah.
That's a good question. In the beginnings, that was the big thing, and now it's just like, So
you think it's a good move? I can kind of see what they're trying to do, right? Like, let's get rid of the bots. Let's have everybody verify. But if everybody's verified, what's the point of having a verification?
Yeah, exactly. So let's see what Elon Musk does these next couple of weeks, and let's see where this goes. I'm not really so sure.
The great thing about Elon is if you don't really agree with what he says this week, just wait. It might change.
Yeah, it might change in my favor. So just wait.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Enzo, you got some winners for us?
Yes. Okay, so with no surprise, I feel like he happens to win every time, but Max Liquidity is the first winner.
Nice.
I don't know how
Congratulations,
I don't
Max.
know how he does this, but the Twitter picker actually loves Max Liquidity.
Good deal. I'm happy for Max. All right.
All right, and then we have Famo. I hope I pronounced that right. So Max Liquidity for $50 in ETH and Famo for $50 in ETH. Famo has a little Toast Punk OG. I hope I pronounced his name right.
I see that. Congratulations. That's awesome. Enzo, tell them what they need to do. If they want to drop a support ticket in Discord.
Yeah, if they want to open up a support ticket within Discord, we'll be happy to assist them from there. And then the two winners for pre-mint or whitelist will be. I don't know if I'm pronouncing these right. Hold on.
All right, buddy. Do the best you can.
MJ and Mumai.
Nice. Awesome. Congratulations. Well, let's have them also open a ticket and we'll get some wallets and we'll get them onto the lists for each of the projects.
All right. Yeah, we'll get in touch with Frank. I don't know if you want me to get in touch with you or if you want me to get in touch with Tarpy and hand you over the wallets after we pick them out. Whichever works best for you guys is fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Reach out to Tarpy. He'll take care of it. That's cool.
Awesome.
All right, awesome.
I appreciate.
And I want to thank Tarpy for helping set this up. I know I had talked to Tarpy since I think like Friday to be able to set this up. So Tarpy, I know you were saying you couldn't unmute because Twitter was rugging you a little bit, but thanks for helping set all this up, man.
Appreciate it. No worries.
Tarpy, you're the man.
Absolutely.
Love you guys.
I just appreciate having anybody come to my show and listen to us because I can't believe anybody wants to listen to me. But that's great. I really appreciate you guys coming. And I can't wait to see where the project goes. I will be standing in line to get one for sure. I'm definitely a coffee lover, but more so, I'm a lover of people. And I always want to support a good project.
I appreciate that, guys.
Absolutely. I look forward to Ape Tank and the challenge.
we look forward to having you.
Fantastic. With that being said, guys, please follow all of our socials. The team at Metatope appreciates everyone for participating today. Stay tuned. We always have more events, giveaways, announcements coming. This Friday, we have Pixel Wars with giveaways in our server. I'm not going to give out a time because the times are different across the world, but please come to the server, check it out. We're tweeting about it. Pixel Wars is a great little, if you've ever rumbled, it's basically similar to Rumble and Dungeons and Dragons. We love it as a game. Come check it out with us. I'm sure you'll love it too. It's super easy to play. Don't forget to register at premint.xyz/metatope for your chance to own up to 3 of the MT skins at pre-mint prices. Get in early, folks. Now's the time. Check out our website, metatope.com, and follow us on all our socials at the Metatope. Please tell your friends, step into the Metatope with me, Crypto Medic, every Thursday on TopeTalk. And again, I want to thank our special guests for being here. Little Mutant, we look forward to what you guys do in the space. Everyone, have a great afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are.
Thank you, Metatope. Thank you for having us. Thank you to all the listeners.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming, Frank.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Cyberpunk. Yeah. I mix my ETH with Polygon Pythagoras. Meta math. Yeah. Crypto cash. Let's go. I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Help me ET's phone. Whole body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the Metatope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up, what you need, golden chariots. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah, and use it inside your live stream, and all your metaverses, favorite games and widescreen. Metatope, visualize your digital ID. I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Yeah, Metatope is your mirror to the metaverse. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone.